Esterházy Podcast.
Hello, this is the Esterházy Podcast. Welcome everyone. My name is Christina and today's topic is Share Your Culture. Today we're going to learn about Turkey and tour around with two of my guests,
Songül, Yıldız
and
Dilek, Dikel.
Turkish Erasmus student at the Esterházy Catholic University. And it's no secret, my mentees. Our University Mentor Network programs help the integration of international students in many aspects of their lives. Our aim is to facilitate the integration of international students into study programs and the academic community, resulting in a successful and pleasant stay at Esterházy Catholic University. Hi everyone, welcome here.
Hi, sziasztok!
Girls, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. What do we need to know about you?
Hi, I am Dilek Dikel and I'm 21 years old. I live in Istanbul, Turkey, but I study in Tekirdağ Namık Kemal University, which is located in Tekirdağ. My major in Tekirdağ is English Language and Literature, but I study English and American Studies in here. I've been here in Eger for approximately 4 months, and I stay at the dorm also with my other Turkish friends. I love writing poetry also. I've been writing poetry since I was 10 years old, and I love the cultural art in here.
Hello, my name is Songül Yıldız. I'm 20 years old. I'm coming from Istanbul also, and I study in Bolu Abant İzzet Baysal University, which is located near to capital city. I've been here also approximately about 4 months. I really like history. My actual major is tourism guidance, but I study tourism management here. I really like traveling touristic places. I love to see different cultures and experience different environments.
Why did you choose Eger?
I wanted to come here first in Hungary because of the history that two nations actually. I really found Hungarian people close to Turkish people and I think they're warm. And also in Eger, I just searched about it before I came here and I like the atmosphere of Eger. It's just like a small town, which I love. It feels like the fairy tale in the books. So I wanted to come here.
I share almost the same opinions with my friend. I chose to come here because I thought the circumstances would be so similar with Turkey. So yeah, I chose to be here and I'm really glad I did.
How would you describe Turkey in one word? What do you love about the culture, the country?
Well, it's a really hard question because Turkey is really undescriptible in a one word, but I would say magnificent because of the history, the culture, the people, the cuisine, everything about Turkey is magnificent for me. And also, it is a really complex country. It's a really complicated country to be in, I think. As a Turkish woman, I would say that. But also, it can give you a paradise. You can find everything in Turkey, everything you can ever imagine of, every kind of people, every kind of thing. But also, it's hard to live sometimes, but I love Turkey because I really love the culture and the history of Turkey because I think it has really lots of variety in that concept. So yeah, I would say that.
I would say the diversity because my country has 7 regions and I find it fantastic because each region has different cultures and also religiously diverse. There are so many varieties in Turkey that when you visit each region, you will find a different cultural aspects and the people will treat you maybe differently, but it will not be negatively, of course. And I really like that each region has different historical sites. Each region has different historical backgrounds and touristic places to visit. So that's what I like about my country.
I also experienced the diversity and the warm welcoming. Even as a Christian girl, I had so many Muslim friends from Istanbul who I was visiting, and this acceptance that I experienced and how other religions and cultures could live together, it was such kind of experience and journey. But is there anything you miss about being away?
Yeah, of course, because, it's our hometown. When I first came here, I didn't think that I miss even my family so much. But after 2 months, it just hits, And about Turkey, I would say the cuisine, of course, the food of Turkey. I miss that so much. And I want to add something too. In Turkey, we don't have this kind of strict ending hours as in Eger. For example, we have lots of shops which are open until 9 p.m. or something, but in here it's a bit different. So I miss that too in Turkey.
I will say I really miss my mom. I miss my family. And I also miss the cuisine, the food culture, because I've realized Europe doesn't really have a breakfast culture, which was a bit shocking to me because in my country, you should see our breakfast table. It's full with varieties, it's full with food, and I really like that, but I couldn't see it in this country. And with time, my appetite has gone away because of this food culture in Europe. But other than that, I think I only missed the food and my family.
You were talking about your cuisine. Can you mention some names of the foods?
For example, we have çiğ köfte, which is awesome, delicious thing ever. It is magnificent, just like Turkey. And we have alinazik or karnıyarık, and especially kebab, as everyone knows, or döner. They're really, really, really delicious food. And even if you can find them in Europe all the time, it's not the same as in Turkey. So I would say this, and also baklava. Baklava is my favorite. Baklava is my life, and I really love it. And I miss baklava so much in here also.
I can mention sarma, which is a leaf that has rice inside. I really miss that because it goes so well with yogurt. And I can mention you so many names. We have so many varieties when it comes to foods, when it comes to sweets. You should definitely come and try it in Turkey.
My favorite breakfast was menemen. Can you tell to the listeners how they can make their menemen for breakfast?
Well, I do it all the time in dorm too. So you have to first cut the peppers and then fry the peppers for like 10 minutes until they turn into gold. And then you have to add tomatoes, maybe a bit also tomato sauce too. And then you have to smash tomatoes and then you should mix them together for like 5 minutes. And then you should add the salt and black pepper or other kind of seasonings. And then you should add the egg. The egg is the best part of the menemen, and then it's ready for you.
It goes really well with tea.
In Turkish you would say afiyet olsun. In Hungarian we would say jó étvágyat.
Jó étvágyat.
Jó étvágyat.
Evet, çok güzel. We talk about difference in cuisine, but we need to talk about also different in religion. Songül, how difficult was it to practice religion in Europe?
Actually, my religion is not just about praying. It's also about being merciful and kind towards people. And I've noticed people in Eger, they're also religious. They really follow Christianity, which is something I haven't seen in other parts of Europe because I've seen people not really following religion. But Eger people, they really are strict about it. They go to churches and they practice it, as far as I've seen. And when it comes to practicing physically, I think I found it really hard because when I'm outside, I cannot find a clean place to pray. And sometimes I delay it, sometimes I miss it, which is a bit hardship for me. But at the end of the day, it's not that hard. And also practicing it when it comes to wearing my headscarf, I found it really hard because people here, I don't think they have seen Muslims much. And I can count Muslim women with my hands because I haven't seen many people who are covering their heads. And when it comes to people just stare. They don't just look, they stare and they wonder what it is like. I have a close friend, Sude. She's also covering herself, and recently actually in Dobo Square she was filmed by a stranger, which was a bit shocking for us. She didn't know how to respond and he just continued recording even though he noticed that she saw him recording, which it was a bit shocking to us. And I've also been recorded from strangers. I guess with time it becomes normal to me because people are really curious. People wonder what it is like to cover our heads. But other than that, I have seen more positivity than negativity because people look at me and they just wonder. They try to talk. That's it. I've seen even welcoming eyes, welcoming smiles, which was good.
I guess, yeah, Eger has also this diversity because of the university Erasmus program that foreigners can meet with each other and people can look at each other not in a bad way, but because of curiosity. And Eger also was the center of the Catholic Church in the old times. And as you could see, there are more than 8 churches that you can find in the city. How did you find it? Have you ever been at any church before you came and visited Hungary?
Yes, I have, but not like this, obviously. Especially Actually, Eger is really important for me for churches and for the religious practice that the people have, because I always had the interest upon the Christian religion and also the Christian philosophy. And when I came here, I just practiced it a lot in my head. I love how people think about Jesus, how they just practice their theological exercises, I would say. And also the churches are so beautiful. They're so detailedly made. They are so magnificent. They're so beautiful. And of course the Basilica is my favorite one. And also the St. Stephen Basilica in Budapest is the most beautiful church I've ever seen in my entire life. So whenever I go there, I just feel something in my heart. And the feeling of safety, the feeling of security, and the feeling of inspiration, because these kind of things inspire me a lot. And yeah, I love this too much about Eger and also about Hungary overall.
Before coming to Europe, a lot of my friends were sending me videos about this church in Italy, which is called Sant'Ignazio, if I'm pronouncing it correct. And people were telling me to look to the roof through the mirror, and it would be such a good vibe, and I would take pictures. But then when I visited Hungary, I've seen basilicas in Budapest and in Eger. I've noticed I don't really need to visit that, so I'm not going to Italy anymore, because I found it more beautiful here, how basilica is built with gold and many pictures that were done with hands. It's just so fascinating to me.
In Istanbul we can find also churches, but mostly there are a lot of mosque, which is a place where people are going to pray. What's the difference of a mosque and a church?
I can tell that in mosques we don't have paintings of faces, because we believe we cannot paint any face to a wall, because with time it can be changed and seen as if we are praying towards that face, which is not what we believe in. We believe that we cannot see God. God is everywhere, not just in a painting. And we can find the difference as mosques are not really visited as a touristic place, except for some of the most important mosques. But in churches, a lot of people visit there just as a touristic intentions. But other than that, I didn't find anything that is different.
Some of my friends used to ask me why churches has that much paintings on the walls, and I read somewhere that in the old times the masses were in Latin, so like people couldn't understand that much if they couldn't speak that language, so they started to paint the churches, and through the paintings they understand the message and understand the expressions more. And girls, you arrived in Hungary last semester thanks to the Erasmus program. Since then, what cultural differences have you experienced? Did you have any cultural shock?
With Europe, I have, because European people are more cold compared to my country's people. But I found it strange that Hungarian people are not like other Europeans. They are more welcoming. Although they're still a bit shy, they're still welcoming. They still have that soft looking in their faces. It almost feels like it's my country's people. So I haven't seen big differences other than this.
Yeah, the same for me as well. In Hungary, I always feel like home because people are here so very nice and they're so warm against Turkish people. I've been in France like a week ago, and I would say that the French people are not like Hungarian people at all. So whenever I just go abroad from here, I always want to come back to Hungary because it feels like home, like I said. And there's no really certain kind of a strict cultural shock for me in here because we share the same history together once. We have the same costumes and same traditional things actually. Yeah, I don't think that there's so much cultural shock for me in Eger.
My last semester's Turkish friends' cultural shock was how Hungarian students can blow their nose during your class, like how disrespectful it is. And it was also a cultural shock for me when I was in Istanbul, that I knew that, oh my god, I have allergy. I was on that season when I was going, and oh my god, it would be so disrespectful in that country if I would do this, so I just didn't do it. But how was it for you to experience that you can blow your nose and it's not even unrespectful towards your professor or teacher?
Pretty hard to absorb that actually. Even when we were coming here with my friends in the plane, people were starting to doing that with their noses, and we just thought that it was normal, but then when we came here, yeah, everyone was doing that. It's okay for me, not that much bad, but you know, I'm not that used to with this in Turkey. And sometimes it really gets so much, I don't know how people do that, but because in Turkey it's not that common, people often see it as a disrespectful behavior. Yeah, it was a pretty shock for me too.
Yeah, for me too. Like when I first came, when me and my friend, we were together, and then this man just started blowing his nose and it was so loud. I just looked at him and I didn't know what to do, and I noticed that it's actually normal in Hungary. Well, in my country, if you're doing it in a small voice, it's okay. You can be sick, people would not mind. But if you do it loudly, people will look at you, they will like, oh, what are you doing? It's a bit strange for us, but I got used to it.
And we were talking about the cuisine before, but have you tried any Hungarian food that you really liked?
The first one was langos. I love langos. I can eat langos every day. Actually, whenever I go to Budapest, I eat langos. And kutoskolas, obviously, it is my favorite one in here, actually. And yeah, I can do langos in Turkey because we have the similar recipe. But kutoskolas is not, I will not be able to make it in Turkey, and I will miss it so much. Yeah, I think my favorite one is kutoskolas.
For me, I still haven't tried langos, sadly, because I didn't have the time to try it and I couldn't find the free time. But I have tried kürtoşkolaş. I've tried it with ice cream inside. I don't know if people would be positive about it, but I've tried it with ice cream. It was nice. It was just a bit too much sweet for me, but I really liked it. And I'm hoping to try langos in any time soon.
So you're getting to know the Hungarian culture, but what about the other culture? Because there are several nationalities living together in the Leánka Road dormitory of the university. Have you been able to experience and participate in each other's culture besides Hungarian?
Yeah, we did actually. In a dorm, we have lots of people from different nationalities and different traditional features. We have Moroccan, we have Tajikistan, and we have other nationalities also. Because the geography, we actually all came from nearly the same geography, and they were pretty close to the Turkish traditional things. But it was so sweet for me to experience that, because I think when you're going somewhere, Europe or other region, it doesn't matter, you also experience that kind of traditional stuff in there. And also when you're learning a language, you also experience the people of the language. So I had a chance to try things from other nationalities in the dorm, and they were pretty nice actually.
I got to experience Indonesian culture more than other cultures since my roommate is Indonesian, and I found it a bit strange. Again, it was another cultural shock for me because as Turkish people, we feed ourselves with protein in the mornings with breakfasts, and we feed ourselves with carbohydrate at dinners. But my roommate, I came to see that they actually feed themselves with carbohydrate both in breakfast and in dinner, which was a bit strange for me. And I've noticed in other cultures, they're also like that. I haven't seen any culture that was close to me. I think this was another cultural shock for me.
And what good advice would you give to those who would visit Turkey as a tourist?
People who want to go to Turkey as a tourist, I think they should expand their dates because there are lots of things to see in Turkey, not only Istanbul or Ankara, but I think lots of places to see, lots of people to meet, and lots of things to eat also. In Istanbul, I think there are lots of places to visit because Istanbul is a really historical place. First, it has lots of civilizations before. It has lots of history hidden still. Or in Ankara is the capital of Turkey, and it really should be seen because of the Atatürk's tomb is there also. And also the other eastern part of the Turkey, we have Göbekli Tepe, which is located in Şanlıurfa. It is the first civilization settled in Turkey, the Mesopotamia region, and it is the first worshipping place. So especially Anatolia has lots of beautiful and interesting things to see, not only Istanbul, like I said. So if a person wants to go to Turkey, I think they should prepare their dates to visit Turkey overall to have a good experience.
I would suggest you to not get scared or shocked when you hear Allahu Akbar. It means God is the greatest and it's a call to prayer. We do it 5 times a day and it's totally peaceful. Other than that, as my friend said, I would suggest you to expand your dates and definitely visit Asian side of Turkey. There are 10 churches in UNICEF for Christianity, so I would definitely suggest you to visit Asian side of Turkey. And those 10 churches are protected by UNICEF, and I would suggest you to visit those churches.
And as a Hungarian person, I would suggest be prepared for the traffic. It was a cultural shock for me that I could cross the red light. Like, people are just crossing through us, cars, even child with their parents. So just be prepared that you need to go through a red line because there won't be a green light soon. And also suggest to speak the language. I guess it's really important to respect the culture, respect the language, and try to learn more about that destination country.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
True, yeah.
Girls, for me, thank you so much for this podcast. With all the listeners, we got to know more Turkey, the culture, the cuisine, the religion. I'm so thankful that I know you and also I can be your mentor. And we got to know each other here at the Esterházy Károly Catholic University. I'm wishing you all the best, and please come back to us as soon as you can and visit Eger, your second home.
Thank you so much. We are really grateful that you are our mentor, and we are grateful that you made us your guest here.
Yeah, thank you so much, deeply from my heart, for having us today and let this conversation to create. I love you so much as my mentor.
I love you too.
As a friend too, and thank you, Eger, for making us feel home all the time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dear listeners, in case of further questions, students can reach the international office at the following email address: studentmobility@uni-esterhazy.hu. Have a great weekend.
Esterházy Podcast.